Hello friends. Did you know that there are over 13 million credit cards in circulation in Australia? And there are more than 345 million credit cards in circulation in the US. The credit card debt in Australia is around $37 billion, whereas in the US it's an whopping $841 billion. Credit cards are such a convenient tool, but why is it always seen as a taboo or even feared? Several finance experts actually suggest against having a credit card. So, how can you actually have a credit card and avoid overspending? Or how can you have a credit card and still stay under your budget? Those are the things that we will be discussing in this video. I have used credit cards ever since I turned 21, but I have never fallen under credit card debt. Though I have converted some expensive purchases into 6 or 12 months installments, in most of the cases, these installments were interest free, but in some cases, they had an interest of around 5 to 10% depending on the country I was using the card in. At that time, I actually found that as a very convenient tool and I was able to use it to buy expensive purchases like my phone. In fact, I even converted all my wedding expenses which are on my credit card into 3 easy installments. Not because I couldn't afford it, just because the credit card company called me and checked if I want to convert it interest free. And I said yes. I did that in spite of having saved up money for the payment, but when they asked for an interest free conversion, I went ahead with it. Sometimes the interest free payments are a big help. I'm not totally against it, but it only works if you're budgeted for it or you're under the budget and you're using it for something which is actually required for you. There are 4 different ways I've managed my credit card in the years that I have used it. Let's go through them one by one. Number 1 is pay off your monthly bill in full on time. Did you know that if you have a credit card balance of $2,000 and you make just the minimum payment, it'll take you 8 years and 3 months to pay it off fully. And by that time, you would have actually paid a total of $3,300. So, just making the minimum payments might actually look like a very smart option in the beginning, but in the long run, it's actually very costly. And do you know what happens when you actually miss a payment? You are actually slapped with a late payment fee, which usually is around $35. And if you're missing the next payment as well, the late payment fee will actually incur interest and you will get another late payment fee of around $35. So this actually has a compounding effect and the credit card bill might shoot up pretty high very fast. So the best way to avoid this is always making a full payment on your balance on time. Let's say the credit card balance for this month is $2,000 and the due date is 15th of this month. Then you will have to pay out the entire $2,000 on or before 15th of this month. This is a very good way to use your credit card. This way you utilize all its benefits along with collecting reward points or reward miles which are associated with the card. The only issue with this method is when you overspend, you might have to dig into your savings to actually make up the entire payment. For example, in a particular month, you have a lot of night outs or dinners or meeting a lot of your friends, or let's say Christmas, you had to get loads of gifts for your friends and family. You end up spending way over your capacity and you're unable to pay the entire amount. That's how you end up in credit card debt. Number 2, use your credit card as a pay-as-you-go card. This can be done in several ways. I'll discuss one of the ways in here. So, You use your credit card for 5 days or a week, and by end of this period, you check what is your credit card balance and you make a payment into your credit card account for that amount. For example, you spend say $500 in 5 days. So you log into your credit card account, check the amount, and on the 6th day, you make a payment of $500 into the credit card. So there are two steps involved in this. One is checking your credit card account every 5th day and making the payment for that amount on the 6th day. Here you have some checks in place. Since you're making a payment on every 6th day, you know exactly what you're spending. So there is very little chance of overspending, and you're also able to get all the rewards from the credit card. Number 3 is using your credit card like a debit card. In this method, you actually make a payment into your credit card account even before you make any transaction into it. For example, you transfer say $500 into that account and you use your credit card for say 5 days or a week, and after this period you log into your credit card account and check the balance in the credit card. If you end up spending more than $500, you make another top up payment of say another $500. If you've not spent more than that, then you don't have to make a payment. In this method, there are two steps involved as well. One is checking your credit card balance every 5 days, and the other one is making a payment into the account if the balance has become negative now. In this method as well, you have some checks in place because you are actually checking your account every 5 days and you are also making the payment even before the transactions happen. The only disadvantage of this method is, let's say if you made a payment of $500 but you're in sudden need of cash, you can't use the card to withdraw the cash. It would be really encouraging to me if you let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video. For more videos on finance, sports, reviews of books, movies, series, and products, please subscribe to the channel. Please check out our food and travel blog. The link is in the description below. Also check out the link in the description below for some freebies and rewards for some sites and services that I use. Number 4, keep track of your credit card spends periodically. This method actually involves budgeting and then spending. Here you will have to keep track of all your expenses. This actually can be done via several apps, but I personally do it using a spreadsheet. I have done a video about it. You can check it out. The link is above. I actually use my credit card for all my expenses and I keep track of each and every one of them. In a given cycle, I have a budget on what my expenses should be and I keep track of them against the given budget. This lets me keep on top of my expenses, and I check my expenses every 3 or 5 days depending on how much time I have, and I keep that spreadsheet up to date. Once this cycle is over, I do the same for the next cycle as well. This way I make sure that my expenses are within the budget and make the payment in full before the due date. This is something like the first method. The only difference is my expenses are tracked in this method. This way I have a much higher probability of not overspending. For one-off expenses like car insurance, car registration, home insurance, body corp for the house, we actually know the approximate amount this expense will be. So I budget for it and save for the entire year for this expense. This way, when I have to pay this expense, I already have it saved and I don't have to dig into my other savings. I have used all the 4 methods, but I personally prefer the method in which I have to track my expenses. This way, I have a track of all my expenses and I'm under the budget as well. Please note that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you the different ways that I have used my credit card and made payments to it. This might work for some of you and might not work for the others. It's more like a trial and error, and if it works for you, well and good. And while you're following this method, if you miss out on 1 month and you overspend, it's fine as long as you dust it off and get on track the next month. Do you have any such tricks and tips while using credit cards? I would like to know. Let me know in the comments. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, ciao.